Buff Nation, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. I'm finally back. Got struck by the COVID bug right around New Year's and have woken up from a deep slumber here in North Carolina. And wow, there's some news that I need to catch up on, that I need to catch you guys up on. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments, but a stacked weekend for transfer portal visits for Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. This is awesome. Hey, what's going on, Trey Day? Hey, guess we know why KB hit the portal. Yeah, guys, if you needed a refresher, after the Alamo Bowl, players had 5 days, I believe, to enter the transfer portal from, well, both Colorado and BYU. And we saw, I think Kahlil Benson was and Hank Zielinskis were the only two guys that entered the portal. So fantastic to see that continuity returning on the team for the spring semester. That's really great. Kahlil Benson, man, I think it's best. I think there needs to be some learnings out of this one with Benson. Unless you're an All-American talent like Jordan Seaton, I think it's just best that our offensive linemen keep from selling merch before they ever hit the field, because sadly, you guys know, like the hype and the talk that he was talking to other guys on the team, the way that he was talking about how he was going to play, how he was going to protect too. Once the season really hit, and even before that, I'll be honest, like, they moved him from right tackle into guard for Tyler Brown. If that doesn't speak, that doesn't tell you how drastically he was not backing up his talk, I don't know what does. So I'm happy. I hope that whoever is coming in to coach this offensive line, they're much more about the play on the field. Not that Coach Oldholt wasn't. I love Coach Oldholt, but offensive linemen, you guys can call me old school. I think their role just really needs to be like, let your play talk on the field, do your talking on the field, so to speak. Unless, again, you are somebody like Jordan Seaton. I'll buy Jordan Seaton's merch. Does he even have merch? I don't even know. But hey, let's go ahead and get into the positive news. Best of luck to Kahlil Benson. But it just did not work out here. And I was really hoping it was. But I would have to say that he was probably one of the bigger disappointments on the team this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But let's get to the positive news. I think we're bringing in some starting caliber linemen on visits for this weekend. And this is really awesome. Let's start with the most recent. Percy Lewis. Starting left tackle. He started most of the games this year for Auburn, as you can see. Let me go ahead and zoom in right here. Part-time player to start the year against Alabama, A&M, and Cal, and then got the start for, a nice 5-6 game stretch, and then was back to kind of playing part-time snaps against Vanderbilt, Louisiana, Monroe, and Texas A&M. This is a guy who has some good experience. 814 snaps over 3 years in the SEC, starting at Mississippi State, and then playing this past year at Auburn. What I like to see, guys, 6'7", 355 pounds. Oh, yeah. And I haven't watched any of him, but hey, if he's sticking at left tackle in the SEC, you got to imagine that his feet must be pretty good. He must be good on his feet. And let's see what he can do. Only gave up 8 pressures on the year. That's really, really nice on 308 snaps. Okay. 8 pressures on the year. Half of those were sacks. Got to cut down that percentage. But this is something that I'm wondering right now, guys, because if we're bringing in a left tackle, and that's all he's really played. He's played 1 snap at right tackle and 6 at inline tight end. 748 snaps at left tackle, 58 at left guard. Are we bringing him in to play guard, or are we bringing him in to play right tackle? This is going to be pretty interesting because I imagine he's not coming on a visit here. If if the plan isn't to have this guy starting on the line somewhere. And when you're talking about somebody who's also visiting this year, this weekend. Crisler, 6'6", 335 pounds, coming over here from Illinois. Gave up 8 pressures, 1 sack on 460 snaps this year. Mainly played right guard. Yeah, you can see he's got 1,800 snaps at right guard, a little bit at right tackle, but you would like to think, okay, like Crisler slides in there at right guard. Maybe, Percy Lewis right there at left guard. And then maybe somebody like Zarian McGill over at center. 6'2", 308 pounds. He's played a few years, at ULM and Louisiana Tech, mainly center. All 3 of these guys are visiting, along with tackles William Boone from Prairie View A&M University, 6'6", 340. And then you also have Brandon Sneh, tackle from Wagner, 6'6", 320 pounds. Didn't give up a sack at all this year, which is great to see. But again, not like, I'm guessing this is FCS G5. Looking at the schedule here, Delaware State, FAU, Columbia, UMass. I'm not sure what level they play at, to be honest. But this is very interesting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen coming in here to visit, as well as defensive lineman Tavian Coleman, which is awesome. I think Miami was going after him most recently, and he canceled that visit to come here for Colorado, which is great. Guy that should be able to bring a decent amount of pressure from the interior. You guys know we got to beef up that space quite a bit. And from the linebacker perspective, maybe this was the guy Miami was going after, Martavius French. Excuse me if I misspoke. Still got the COVID fog going on right now. 6'2", 225 pounds. He was fantastic this year for the UTSA Roadrunners. 83 total tackles and 4 sacks. Yeah, I'm about it. No doubt about it. Grayed out very well against the run. Tackling percentage right around 12.6. It's definitely fine with me. And then coverage 59.3. That's just fine for an inside linebacker. So 3 years at UTSA. But all that to say, guys, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. Percy Lewis and Crisler. I think that these guys are definitely starting caliber linemen for us right now on our line. I mean, you saw Jordan Seaton, fantastic. Phillip Houston, hurt. Hopefully he can come back stronger. But again, I have yet to find out the details of how serious his injury is. So right now, I'm just going to, keep him in as a question mark. But I think outside of Jordan Seaton, and this does include Cash Cleveland. I love Cash Cleveland, but I would still love to recruit over all 4 of our starting linemen that we had, all of our starting linemen that we had this year. It was a step in the right direction, but you guys know this watching the line. We still have a long ways to go before our offensive line is going to be one of the ones that are feared in the Big 12, right? So I love to see that this is happening. Credit to Coach Prime, Corey Phillips, the recruiting staff, and whoever the mystery offensive line coach is. Who's it going to be? Is George Hegeman going to come in and coach the offensive line? He's already here as the director of leadership at CU, coached offensive line in the past, was head of IMG, offensive line coach over there for a little bit. Is it going to be, hey, somebody like Matt McChesney, somebody who is a Buffalo through and through, who has definitely helped us in the recruiting, no doubt about it, over the past year? Or is it going to be somebody that we haven't heard of? Phil Wilholt kind of came out of nowhere last year. Is it going to be somebody like Mike Munchak, who's been sitting around in the Boulder area just chilling, sort of similarly to Pat Shermer before he was brought on as an analyst here? I think there are a lot of great possibilities. I think ultimately, I just love to see that we're bringing in guys who, in my opinion, are big, long, wide, scary, athletic, baby. And none of them sell merch, from what I understand. maybe some of that, normal NIL stuff that you can buy on like a collective website, but it's not, they're not dropping their own merch on April Fool's Day about protecting the quarterback. I kid you not. It was dropped on April Fool's Day, y'all. That's crazy. All right. Enough of that. Get to a few of your comments. I'm going to get out of here. Hey, what's up, Jay? Day, that Lockheed contract must have hit. You look well rested. Yeah, that's right. If you don't know what I do in my downtime, I can't contractually talk about it. Shirley Kimball, what's going on? Joe's 2-3. Yeah, don't touch, do touch, dude. Did all that talking when he got to Boulder. All talk, no bite. Exactly. Yeah, man. I'm glad. I think we're going in a nice direction here. And again, this is going to keep the really wonderful offensive linemen that we've brought in here as high schoolers this year from high school. Chauncey Gooden as well as Carter Smith, Jay Gardenhire, these guys, to where they don't have to be rushed out early if they're not ready, right? I love the fact that the line play has been a priority in this upcoming transfer portal visitation we got. To be honest, Kai Moore, I don't know if it would have been any different, man. To be honest, I think Philip Houston definitely exceeded my expectations. I totally ate crow on him. I thought he was dead weight on the line coming into this year, and while he's got some strength that he needs to gain, right? Still needs to put on a little bit of healthy weight. He can at least move, get in front of guys. And I thought when we were running some of that wide zone stuff, some of those screen plays to the right side of the field, I thought that he would get out. I thought he played with like a good tenacity to him. But again, just a little undersized. Kahlil Benson, man, he just didn't have the footwork. If you watch his film, he was better at right tackle. I thought he had a few good series against Baylor, but again, when you are getting benched or like 3 weeks before the season starts for Tyler Brown, who has never played right tackle in his college career, maybe in practice at ULM or whatever school he's at before then, that's never a good sign that things are going well and that you can be trusted. Hey, Corey, Happy New Year, man. Hey, congratulations on your Irish getting that victory over Georgia. How about that? Sorry I haven't texted you. I've been dead. I've had COVID. Miller will start at left guard. Book it. Carter Miller, that's right. An offensive lineman commit that we've already brought in from Louisiana Monroe. He's played left guard. He's played a little bit of center. And I love this. I love that we're going to have real competition now. I think that's going to be great. And depth. You guys know offensive linemen can go down quite frequently. It is a physical position. So it's going to be good to have some depth and some guys who, should be adequately seasoned shall they need to go in. Crisler is an automatic starter. That's how I see it as well. Best of luck to Kahlil Benson, man. I hope you learned some things here. Hey, T, what's going on, man? Hey, I hope I didn't give you COVID at the game last weekend, man. Guys, T sat right behind me at the Alamo Bowl. It was great chatting it up with you. Hope everything is good. But, yeah, been dead the last couple days due to COVID, but I've overcome it. I have now overcome COVID. Thank you so much. Had to get on here and give you guys my opinion on the visits that we got coming up and DT2 hitting the portal. Wagner has to be the lowest level. Gosh, dude, I don't even know what level Wagner's at, but this is what I'll say. These guys that we're bringing in, William Boone and Brandon Sneh, we just need tackle depth in general. So even if these guys aren't brought in as book-in day one, starters for us, like if Jordan Seaton were to go down right now, who's starting? We had this issue once. Man, I was just talking about him. Philip Houston, once he went down, who did we have to go to? Ben Risneck, Tyler Brown? That is not the position that you want to be in. We need a lot more guys, and you don't want to throw out Carty Smith before he's ready. Again, a little light. Is he really 290 pounds? Excuse me. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Thank you so much for the $5 Super T. Always do appreciate it. Mike Munchak should get the job. That's what you guys are saying. Northside's saying he wants Matt McChesney. Man, I think I think like with Bill O'Boyle or whatever, when he was coaching the Buffs O-line when first Prime came in, it just didn't seem to be like that big of a relationship there between McChesney and whatever we were doing on the offensive line. But since he left, the synergy between the program and him is a lot better. Like, you could just tell it's a lot closer. There's a lot of good vibes. Again, more McChesney guys coming out here, which is great to see. So it wouldn't surprise me to see something like that going in a direction in which he's brought in on staff. Again, I guess it's just up to what he wants to do. Does he want to continue his private training? Sometimes I'll see his tweets and he'll be like, man, I hate waking up at like 5 a.m. for all these kids who don't, do whatever, private training, it's got to be tough. But if he wants to transition into something new, what better, way to go than coaching for your alma mater, right? And a guy who truly brings the care and like the love of the Colorado Buffaloes. Reverend BJ Nelson, thank you for the $2 super chat. It says, hey, my boy Dave. Hey, chats, go Buffs. Hey, hope you had a great new year. Hope you guys have been enjoying these college football playoff games. Second round, much better than the first round. Hats off to Arizona State. I saw Coach Prime give Coach Kenny Dillingham his props, saying he was, coach like the coach of the year. Absolutely. Sam Levitt, Cam Scattaboo, man, what a performance. I thought Texas got bailed out by that non-targeting call there in the fourth quarter. No doubt about it. That looked like targeting to me, but at the end of the day, you got to stop Quinn Ewers on what was that, 4th and 13? Inexcusable. Almighty Law. Good to see ya. Is William Boone going to North Carolina on a visit? Hey, Russ, what's going on, man? Depth. Cash Cleveland should not be starting at center. He is too undersized against the bigger Trent's players from across him. Again, I feel like that was one in which he kind of got put out there by necessity. And I think he really did hold his own for what was expected of him. Greatly exceeded expectations. But I'll side with you on this. Don't give a damn. I think that there's some more development that he can do before he needs to be thrusted back out there. I think that we can get a more seasoned center in the portal, and I think some of the visits and commitments, such as Carter Miller, do reflect that. I do want Cash here for the long term, though. And yeah, it's true that there are a handful of centers, that play at around that 310, 300-pound range, right? Jason Kelsey, undersized center, and all that. But I know Jason Kelsey's a little bit more of an exception to the rule. I think it would be nice to see Cash, if you can get, if you can continue to get that size up a little bit, that would be great. We'll have to see. Now, from everything that I know about the 5430 NIL collective, that everything's been brought in-house to CU, I think, with everything that's changing with college football. So that's everything that I know right now. Yeah, I agree with you, TK. But yeah, he'll put it on, and again, we needed to develop a pipeline here of guys that can be in the program for a couple of years or so, and then be ready to come out there and start. You never want to have to force these linemen come out there and play early if it's not needed. So yeah, we'll see. maybe guys like Gearhead's bringing up, maybe guys like Carde Smith or Chauncey Gooden, with them coming in early, they're able to put on the weight and really battle for a starting line position. I mean, it happens at other places in college football too. Not just Colorado and Jordan Seaton, right? So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and Ashley, you're totally right about this. After watching the playoffs, the Buffs have to continue to upgrade the offensive and defensive line, and you can tell the line play is at a totally different level when you watch that Notre Dame and Georgia game yesterday. Oh man, how about watching Ohio State just destroy Oregon? Man, it was awesome. You can say, Dave, that's so petty of you. Yeah, I know. I hate Oregon, man. I hate Dan Lanning. It's great. It was great to see. Big game Dan folding again. To see Ryan Day in the midst of everybody in Columbus wanting him fired, getting that blowout victory. It was a thing of beauty. Really happy for him. And hey, how about Jeremiah Smith, man? How about that performance? But Ohio State, they got the offensive line. They sure got the defensive line as well. Hey, Dylan Gabriel, all of a sudden, when his offensive line couldn't block perfectly, this guy had to move around the pocket or get out. So all of a sudden, it sucks being 5'10", at quarterback. It was great. I agree. Cash did good as a freshman. I totally agree. But I still think with this pro type of environment, we've said it before in the Coach Prime documentaries last year. Like, we're going to continue to find guys who can do your job better than you. That's the pro type of environment. Some guys are built for it, and they'll be refined into like a diamond because of all that pressure, right? Some guys aren't for it, but Cash better know, man. We got real competition coming in to take that starting job from him. Looking at these visits and commitments that we've had right now, and made the most ready, may the best player win. And even if, Cash doesn't start this year, I think that's a good problem to have, because I think he can become a very, very good college football center. Hey, Keith, how are you doing? Yeah, sorry. You could probably tell I'm a little sick, but I have awakened from my slumber. Also, random thought right now, guys. What is with the NCAA right now considering adding just a 5th year of eligibility? On top of that, you got 2 years that don't count in JUCO. So now you can have players legitimately have 7-year careers as college football players. It's ridiculous. What are we doing? I hate it. As much as I would love to have Black Bully come back, I hate seeing all these exceptions. These guys need to go pro. I hate it. You just got to commit. Let's look it up here. Kylan Salter. Salter's little brother. Let's pull him up. At the linebacker position. Linebacker is where we essentially need freaking anybody. We need anybody with a heartbeat. And, Caden Salter, his little bro coming out here. Excuse me, guys, 1 second. Yuck. I love to see the brother connection that we got coming on here. But yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier. Kylan Salter, there's been a lot of steam about him. Now he is a buff. That's great. Hey, 6'2", linebacker, 225 pounds. He fits the prototype that we look for. This guy hasn't played any college snaps right now, so I ain't gonna come on here and really hype him up as like a starter or anything like that. we'll let his game do the talking. Coming out here in the class of 2023, he was a 3-star recruit. So that's cool to see. Let's see what else we got here. Was at TCU for a couple years, redshirted, so he should have like 3 more years of eligibility left. Let's see where he was offered. Oh, that's funny. We offered him before, or while Prime was here. Really? No, I guess that was the previous staff. Sorry. Give me a second. So offers from TCU, Colorado, Arizona, Liberty, Kansas State, Nebraska, SMU, Texas Tech, LSU, Louisiana, Boston College, handful of different schools. I don't really know what to make of this other than that. Hey, I think it's great. Run some track too. Brother of Caden Salter, who I think will be our starting quarterback this year. Really excited for what Caden Salter is going to do in this offense. And combine this, Caden Salter, with the offensive line that we're continuing to rebuild, then I think you'll see us go and grab a running back or two. I really look forward to seeing this rushing attack. So, hey, that's great. Keep the family stuff going. I think that's great. As you know, Keaton Wade's brother, Destin Wade, was out here this past year, but ended up transferring out. Destin, right? He ended up transferring out. Hopefully he can go find a place where he can play as a quarterback. So, yeah, K-Salt's going to totally change our run game, man. This is going to be a really fun offense to watch. It's going to be a lot different than what we saw with Shedeur Sanders this year, obviously. I don't know if it's going to be as, big plays where you're throwing, 50-yard, 60-yard bombs and stuff like that, but maybe we can get some 50-yard runs now with Caden Salter, right? Another linebacker, we need it. Yeah, I ain't going to complain, guys. Like right now, our linebacker room is, just let me take a look right now. This is our linebacker room as it stands. So we have the, let me go to Colorado here really quick, because we got Reggie Hughes coming in from the transfer portal. I think he will be a starter here. But outside of that, we don't really have too much going on in the linebacker room. We got, let me pull up my little list here. Jeremiah Brown, Jalen Wester, Trenton Hood, Gage Goldberg, Kyron Garcia, Mantrez Walker. So, yeah, I'm not feeling great about that room right now, but I do think we'll bring in hopefully another 2-3 linebackers. We'll just have to see. Oh, and we do also have walk-on Bo Simmons LaPena. He's also a walk-on, just like Gage Goldberg is. But yeah, maybe Jalen Wester takes that step this next season. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, guys. Reverend BJ Nelson. Ryan Day lost. He was going after the clicks. Wait, Ryan Day lost? No, Dan Lanning. I think you mean Dan Lanning, right, Reverend? Yeah, he was going after the clicks. The Cinderella story is gone. No national championships for Oregon yet again. And we got more Heisman winners than they got, right? Because they got Marcus Mariota, and we got 2 now, which is awesome to see. So, yeah, guys, this is a great day for CU, great week for CU. Can't wait to see who commits out of, this group of guys that we got. Again, if you're just tuning in and need a refresher, smash that like as I give you the little synopsis here. Starting left tackle for most of the year here at Auburn, Percy Lewis is visiting. He's also played 58 snaps at left guard. Cy Crisler, right guard from Illinois. He was an all Big Ten honorable mention a couple years at Illinois. He is visiting. 1,800 snaps at right guard. We also have Zarian McGill, center from Louisiana Tech. He has played 1,900 snaps at center. He's coming in for a visit. Then we also got tackle William Boone from Prairie View A&M. Right tackle, Brandon Sneh. Left tackle from Wagner. And Tavian Coleman visiting. Interior defensive lineman. Oh, yeah. And then we were just talking about linebacker. How could I forget? Martavius French, guys, I think would be a starting caliber linebacker for us right now with the room that I just read off for you. 6'2", 225. This completely hits kind of the physical archetype that we look for in box linebackers. And, statistically, I think he's done a good job in coverage. Let's see here. Yeah, gave up 217 yards receiving this year. No touchdowns given up, had a PBU. So 48 total stops. So if we can grab Martavius French, add him with Reggie Hughes, I think that would be a really nice linebacker core. Again, you got guys like Kylan Salter, Jeremiah Brown, a few of those other guys, Jalen Wester providing depth. But yeah, Martavius French is going to be a big one. If we could get a clean sweep with these guys that we got visiting right now in the trenches, I mean, that would just be huge. I think so. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hey, that's right. We also got more national championships. Good call, man. Hey, I'm going to give a quick shout out to T and Reverend BJ Nelson. Keith, thank you guys so much for your super chats. Everybody who took time to chat with me before you go over and watch DNVR, greatly appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have some commitment news to talk about. I am flying home tomorrow evening, so hopefully all that can be done before I'm out of here. So, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Go Buffs.